Am I in? Because this thing looks like it cut off on that. Alright. I'm good on that one as well. Alright. Let's go ahead and get started. So, welcome to Housing Debrief. Episode 22. Since we've been doing this for 11 weeks. And if
yes,
you can,
yes.
Yeah, so we're having a happy hour afterwards. Happy hour Q&A. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Stephen Thomas with Reports on Housing. I have a quantitative economics decision sciences degree from UC San Diego, 29 years in the business, Orange County native, Capital Valley High School grad, 9 kids, and an avid runner. These are my kids. I brought 6, my wife brought 2. Brady Bunch family, I adopted hers, she adopted mine. And my kids sitting over there. And we had this bonus guy. And then we got a dog too this week. Just went to the vet this morning. So, oh, there she is. Pretty cool. So, I'm hoping I have the, let's see, we'll see real quick. So my background is I've been all over the place as far as PR is concerned. I have a company called Reports on Housing, and it's a housing subscription report for all the counties in Southern California. There's a different report for each county. And most reports read like the rearview mirror, closed sales data. Closed sales data looks really dumb right now, and that's because of the COVID-19 lockdown. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's much strong. It's going to be stronger down the road because we're looking at through the windshield at the active listing inventory and demand. That's the pending sales velocity over the last 30 days. And from that, we can gather the expected market time. Place your home on the market, how long until you open up escrow down the road. And it's all about properly setting expectations. I want buyers and sellers and everybody to have the proper expectations of the market based upon statistics. I mean, there was a lot of people that couldn't believe what I was saying earlier when we had this COVID-19 lockdown, that we weren't in a buyer's market. And we had not reached a buyer's market. Orange County was for a week, slight buyer's market, but barely. And but they've like everybody else, they've improved quite a bit. So my reports span LA, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, and San Diego. All of them now have year-over-year data, and now we're going to work on year-over-year data. So it'll be year over 2 years. So you'll be able to see in all the reports, in all cities and communities, the active listing inventory, the pending sales velocity, demand, last 30 days worth of pending sales, and then the expected market time, and in numbers of days that it would take to place a home on the market and when it would go into escrow. And now we have 2 weeks ago data, 4 weeks ago data, and 1 year ago. So pretty awesome stuff. And the last one was called V-shaped recovery. San Bernardino, Riverside got theirs on Monday. And you go to reportsonhousing.com to subscribe. And that's my website. Click on subscribe. And there are also plenty of sample reports so that you can see it. Each one we chose different reports so you can kind of get the flavor for the kind of reports and the kind of writing that we do. And it comes out every 2 weeks, every other Thursday. We crunch the numbers. That's what I was busy working on today, is we just crunched the numbers today. And it's $15 per month or $150 per year. And you get a month free if you sign up today with the coupon code HOTTER, because things are getting hotter. An audience of 1, and she's giving me a stare. Whew. Love you, Alana. Sponsors. I have a new sponsor, and it's Antis Real Estate Photography. And Antis Real Estate Photography has been servicing all of Southern California for 8 years, offering a wide variety of marketing solutions such as photography, drone images, videography, 3D walkthroughs, and virtual staging. They tracked over 1,000 properties in the third and fourth quarters of 2019, and those homes sold for over 30% faster than the other properties on the market. Their customer service, over 10 skilled photographers, and in-house editing team will make your properties and personal brand stand out online. Make your first impression count. Make your first impression count with Antis Real Estate Photography. And you can reach Antis Real Estate Photography at 949-533-7369. And or you can even email them at info@antisphotography.com. Thank you very much for your sponsorship, Antis Real Estate Photography. And here's some fun photos. We love doing this, spring fun photos. Getting closer to summer. Hard to believe. But at first I thought I had COVID because I couldn't breathe. Then I unbuttoned my pants and it was all okay. That's Kermit. Cruise deal, buy one, get two free. Promo code Corona. There are actually coronavirus. There are actually cruise deals for booking them for next like March, April, May, and they are actual deals and what they're banking on. And you have a full cancellation, so they're banking on that there will be some sort of a vaccine at that point, and you can cruise again. Coronavirus cripples cruise industry. 7-day cruise, $40 per person. Returning to Disney. Like this. It's cute. That is from a movie. Which movie? What is it?
Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. My daughter just told me. Monsters Inc. Yes, this is the crew that comes in and cleans the people that are contaminated, or the monsters that are contaminated. I think I already had this, I left it in there, but please note the post-apocalyptical fiction section has been moved to current affairs. How about this? Somebody just had fun, put on some monkey outfit like this and just jumped in. Or how about this surfing guy? Pretty fun, family photo at the beach. Southern California housing market, we're gonna dive right in. We're going into housing immediately. And there's a reason for that. Numbers are looking so good. I want to start off with this stuff. And that showdown between really, really low supply and really, really low demand is pretty much over. So because this demand guy gave up, and supply really low is still in full force, but demand has been rising. And this is the active listing inventory. This is from 2 weeks ago. Compare it to today, and we are as of yesterday, last night. We crunched numbers. 31,055. It was actually down 1% in 2 weeks, and usually, and the 5-year average was up 1%. Last year was 43,531. 40% more homes than where we are at today. So the number, it was 38% when I did it 2 weeks ago. Now it's 40% more. So you can see it's going in the wrong direction for comparing last year to this year. And it's the lowest level for the end of May since May 2013. And keep this in mind. There are 31,055 homes in the market right now today, and nearly 4 times that is what we had in the market back in 2007 for all those people that like to compare it to the Great Recession. And they're kind of, everybody's like confused because they're saying recessions, it should equate to housing coming down, but only 2 out of the last 5, not 10, but last 5, 2 out of the last 5 recessions actually impacted housing, and they were led by housing. Here in Southern California, the SNL disaster, that was the end of 80s, start of the 90s, and then we had the Great Recession. Those two, and that's why we remember the Great Recession, because it was so recent that we think that all recessions should pan out that way. And remember, this is a totally different recession. I refer to it as a pandession because we did a forced stop, so it is going to impact the whole entire economy. And the government is throwing everything at it and the kitchen sink to help us bridge the gap between when we went into this thing to where we're unlocking down the road. Because remember, all those unemployed that are out there, they still get an extra $600 per week, which is making them not even whole, but they're making more than where it went prior to going into becoming unemployed. So these are all things that you want to keep in mind. And then we have the LA County. They were actually up 2% in the last in the last 2 weeks, and Orange County is up 4% in the last 2 weeks, and Riverside County is down 6%, and San Bernardino County is down 6%, and San Diego County is down 4%. Now, I'm trying to figure out why is Orange County so high. The only thing that I can kind of come up with in my head is the fact that I have over 2,000 subscribers in Orange County, and they would get this out to the masses. That would be a partial reason, because I've been talking about this for quite some time, that the water is actually good. It's like a cold day, it's cloudy today, but if you touch the pool and it had been heated for a while, it's still 85 degrees, the water's still good, come on in. And that's kind of what is going on out there, because I can't believe these numbers, especially, and these are the 3 hottest counties. These 2 are making their way to hot. These 3 are extremely hot. And if you look at the number of new for sale signs in the past 4 weeks, that was from yesterday, the past 4-week period, and you compare it to the 5-year average for all of Southern California, it is down 32%. Now, in the various counties, LA County is 30% fewer homes placed on the market. Orange County is 35% fewer homes placed on the market. Riverside County, 33% fewer homes placed on the market. San Bernardino County, 37% fewer homes. And San Diego County, 26% fewer homes placed on the market. COVID-19 is absolutely still to this day suppressing supply, and that is something that continues. Hopefully we'll see that diminish over time, and I imagine we will. My thinking on this is it should come back online sometime in June. So we have a supply problem. Absolutely continue to have the supply problem versus a very low demand problem, right? So we had this demand problem, and this demand problem was we couldn't buy our lemonade with COVID-19, darn it. But COVID-19 was suppressing demand, because we woke up. Demand woke up, and we adapted as a real estate industry. Everybody adapted. They're like the chameleon, figured it out. They have the proper PPE, and they have the proper gloves, and they have do all the necessary forms to make this to make it work out there. And housing, the underpinnings of housing, the whole housing stock is extremely strong. It is nothing like the Great Recession. I've done plenty of prior episodes about comparing the Great Recession to today's housing stock, and just know that the housing stock is really, really strong. And the demand is beginning to sprint. It is feeling a lot like a spring market. And so we've adapted, and now we have people buying lemonade again. So see, all the proper PPE. And this is what demand looks like now. See, I was talking about it, this is a V-shaped recovery, and didn't think I went out on a limb when I said V-shaped recovery 2 weeks ago, because this now looks just like the letter V. And this is where we are right now. If you look at it, yesterday we're at 15,554, up 25% in 2 weeks. What's interesting is in the last 4 weeks, we've added just about the same number each 2-week period, 3,671 escrows extra compared to where we were here. So this is where we were. Now we have 3,671 extra escrows in the last 30-day period. So you could see that we're putting the, what is it? I always do this wrong. The pedal to the metal. My wife, I need her here to correct me, because I sometimes reverse that. Anyways, we're going really fast. Last year, we were at 16,970. Look at the difference. I couldn't even put the thing on here, the difference between this year and last year, because it's so teeny tiny. It's only 9% more than where we are today. Remember, when we were way down here, it was double. It was double where we are today. Now it's only 9% and diminishing, because you can see this is flat. Which direction is this going? It's not going to just flatten. We're going to continue to go up, probably meet it, or even surpass it. So the last time we had demand here was mid-February. When I was comparing demand down here, it was inherent demand, and the last time we had seen it was back in the Great Recession. And now that we're all the way back here, the last time we've seen this was back in February. So this is recent demand that we've had, this kind of feel with a lot of activity. So activity is resuming, and it's like we're starting spring all over again. It is a V-shaped recovery in housing. It's not the way the rest of the economy is going to work. That really will be that dial, that dimmer switch, where it will slowly come back online, very much U-shaped. that's what we're projecting, but we have to play our cards right, and we have to continue to see things evolve kind of the way that they are right now. But we will be staying tuned and letting you know what we're seeing in the overall economy, because the overall economy is, of course, going to trickle down to the housing market. And this is the demand year over year. It went up in LA County, up 28%, Orange County up 25%, Riverside County up 24%, San Bernardino County up 23%, and we have San Diego County up 23%. So the expected market time, it is that U-shaped flipped upside down, because we got really high as far as the expected market time, then started to come down, and then have really come down since. And this arrow was where we were 2 weeks ago. I forgot to move it. Anyways, this is where we are right now as of today. You can see we burrowed below last year, we burrowed below 2 years ago, and we're approaching 3 year ago level as far as the expected market time. That's hot, because in 2017 the market was pretty darned hot. So, and that's where we're headed right now. Southern California, it's May 14th. Gosh darn it, I didn't even update this slide. Anyways, I didn't update these slides, so I will have to give it to you manually. So bear with me for a second. We're going to go into this thing, and you're going to see the back engine of Microsoft Excel. And hang on, I got to give you these numbers, because I did not update it. So I'm updating it on the fly as we speak, because that's how we do things here. We make sure that you get the right things. Overall, for all of Southern California, the expected market time is at 60 days. It's actually hot. It hit 60 days. And if I could slide this over, which I can, and you'll see. Boom. So I'm doing this on the fly. So this is just a lot of gobbledygook numbers, but anyways, just bear with me for a second. This is all of Southern California is at 60 days. You can see that we were down 2% and up 25% in demand. But San Diego County, let's start off with LA. LA is 69, so we'll do this in alphabetical order. Orange County is at a 74-day expected market time. Riverside County is at 55-day expected market time. San Bernardino County is at 50, and San Diego County is at 49. And where was it a year ago? So we're at 60 days right now for all of Southern California. A year ago was at 77 days. We are hotter. Last year, we didn't even get into a hot seller's market for all of Southern California, and check it out. We're at 60 days. We're in a hot seller's market for all of Southern California. That is where we were after the Super Bowl. We're back at a hot seller's market for all of Southern California. Now, Orange County and LA, not quite there yet. These three, Riverside, San Bernardino, and San Diego, absolutely, they are at that level again. So let's get this going, because I forgot to update it. Get my cursor off the TV and back on here, and there we go. So anyway, so now we see where we're at. So it looks like I forgot to update it. Just understand that I'm fine. So we're not in a buyer's market. We are definitely not in a balanced market. We are it's a slight seller's market in LA and Orange County, but it's moving its way towards a hot seller's market. It still has some room to go, but it looks like it has the velocity where it might even get into a hot seller's market in Orange County. It looks like LA is absolutely headed that direction. And then we have, but just understand, when there are certain price ranges in all the counties, and the overall feel for Orange County is very much like fishing. You're not going to get a ton of fish. You're just going to get that one fish, and it takes time, because that's what it means to have an expected market time in the 70s. Now, when you get below 60, that's a little bit different. And I'm going to get into the menu of where it's the hottest price ranges in all the counties, but you'll understand that because those people are hot. And Riverside County, San Bernardino, San Diego overall is a hot seller's market for the entire market, but they're fishing with a net where there are multiple offers. And it doesn't mean you're not getting multiple offers in LA and Orange County. Remember, it's different price ranges. What that means is when you get below 60, that there are even more price ranges. And there are some price ranges that are so extremely scorching hot. There's one in San Diego I can't wait to point out. But this low mortgage rate environment is what is pushing this forward. It is what is ultimately making this this go. It is the jet fuel that is propelling this forward. And this was as of yesterday. This is what came out from Freddie Mac, and you could see. So this is actually through U.S. weekly average mortgage rate as of May 28th. Check it out, 3.15%. That is a record. We had a record at I think it was 3.23%, and now it's 3.15%. We're making our way towards 3%. This, it's hard to do that when you're looking at yourself. This is a record. It is absolutely incredible. Unbelievable how fast things are moving because of these low rates. And you have to understand, so the 10-year Treasury still is stuck. This is right now, as of right before we started this broadcast, 6.53%. This is one of the things we're trying to look at. We need this to get back up towards 1%, which means that there's enough faith in all of the statistics and data for everybody to get online, pull their money out of U.S. Treasuries and move towards something else like equities. So that's what we're trying to see. The appetite for U.S. Treasuries is still really strong, which is why this is so low. When people have more faith, the appetite for U.S. Treasuries goes down, and then this rises. We want to see this get towards 1%, so that threshold will show us that there is enough faith in the economy and the direction that we're headed. But I point that out. Wait, really quick. Go back, Stephen. I point that out because we really should have interest rates closer to 2.5% right now, given the normal spread over time, about 2.5%. We're almost at that 3% threshold. So there's a bit of, we're narrowing that gap. That gap was gigantic. That gap was at when we had interest rates that were averaging way higher at 3.5% at one time, and they still should have been at 2.5%. But that gap is beginning to narrow, and people are wondering, when will it go below 2? I don't know if we're going to get there. I think we'll get towards 3, and then that will be when we start seeing things improve. I don't know. We'll have to see, wait and see, because I understand that the underbelly of of lending is a bit broken right now. So you should still love all over your lenders out there, the mortgage reps, because they are dealing with quite a bit out there. So just understand it's not totally fixed, and that's why there is a gap. Market overview, I wanted to go through this. Holy cow, can you look at this? This is LA. So below 750 is scorching. Anything in the 30s and below is just way hot. 750 to million, 61 days, so it's not quite hot, but it's getting there. And then 1 to 1.25. These were really ugly a few weeks ago. To see these numbers change the way that they are is absolutely masterful. And you see this one says 921 days. That is actually not bad compared to where it was at. It was at 1,200 at one time. And this is attached. You can see the hottest is below 500,000. And then things fall apart at about 1 million. And then this is Orange County. You've got that really hot 5 to 750 for detached. There isn't a lot in the 0 to 500,000, but it's still hot. Anything that comes on 750 million is even hot at 50, but not quite as hot as 5 to 750. 1 to 1.25 went into the green. It's a slight seller's market, and these turned white. The 1.25 all the way up to 2 million are white. It's a balanced market. It's unbelievable how we're seeing this thawing in the luxury range. Demand and how quickly it spiked, and we hadn't even officially begun our lockdown, was absolutely incredible to me. It was a little bit faster than I thought, and so is the thawing of the luxury market. I thought we were done for 2020, but I've actually since changed that, and I think that we could see a better second half for luxury. It just depends upon how everything goes and how the markets continue to improve. Because we're seeing that stocks and the Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ have improved quite a bit from their lows that they recently hit. And you can see attached, it is hottest between 250 and 5. And this is Riverside County. You see 2 to 650 is on fire. The hottest range is about 3 to 5, and then even 650 to 8 is a slight seller's market. That's pretty amazing. And then attached, that 2 to 300,000 is just reached the hot seller's market. It's actually like 59 point something, so it's hot. And but we have a slight seller's market between 0 and 2 and 3 to 4. And then this is San Bernardino. Look at this. Everything below 650 is hot. in San Bernardino. And 650 to 8 is a just entered the slight seller's market. And then it's a balanced market from 8 to million. And then attached 2 to 400 is a hot, and then it's quite a bit is slight seller's market. It's below it's above 500,000. That is a slight buyer's market. And then we have San Diego. This is this one. Look at this, 5 to 750, 26 days. Holy smokes, that is like scorching hot. And 62 days for below 500,000. And you have to understand, detached in these areas like Orange County and LA, there's not a ton below 500,000. So you have to go inland in San Diego to get that. And 1.25 to 1.5 is actually a slight seller's market. Look at this, 1 to 1.25 entered hot seller's market territory. It's balanced between 1.5 and 2. So you can see major thawing even in the luxury ranges. And speaking of luxury, LA County, 1.5 million plus. So they're at 234 now. They were at 509 during the midst of COVID-19 lockdown, the ugliness. That was April 30th. That was their low. And then expected market time prior was at 155. So it's moving in the right direction. It is thawing way faster than I originally had thought. And then Orange County is 169 days. That's the expected market time right now. Was at 322, so it's getting better. Not quite where it was March 5th at 121. Definitely getting better. Riverside County, 126 days. It was at 453 days. It is better than March 5th. So they are hot. San Bernardino County is at 135 days. They were at 284, and they were at 125, so they're making their way back to March 5th levels already. And you can see that has a lot to do with price point. These high prices, there just aren't as many fish out in the sea, so you need to see a lot of improvement for things to totally thaw out. But that's what we're starting to see across the board, that luxury is starting to fix itself a little bit faster than I had anticipated. So in San Diego, above 1.25, it's 156 days, was at 316, the low was 118. There's still some room for it to improve, but it's definitely improving from where it was just a few short weeks ago, or a little over a month ago. So it's definitely thawing out in the luxury ranges. Just understand that, and it's happening faster than I originally had anticipated. Like I said, let's get into COVID-19 just so we understand it. I'll rip through these and get to some economic slides, and we'll get into Q&A. But here, ripping through this stuff, we're at just about 5.9 million around the world. You can see we didn't have a very good day yesterday as far as number of cases around the world. There are some numbers of cases in the southern hemisphere that are coming online that are having issues. And you can see this is the United States at 1.7 million, and LA is the third most impacted metro, or not metro, but county in the United States. And you can see it looks really good. They did not have a good day yesterday either in the United States, but you can see we've had those kind of days. But overall trend, if you look at the 7-day trend moving average, we are definitely going down, but it's just not going down that fast, which means this curve doesn't really go down to where we want it to be until at August, at the point that we're going right now. And how far are we from herd immunity? So we've heard about this herd immunity. Sweden's the one that started talking about herd immunity. It was hard to believe that they had anybody on the health side of things talking about herd immunity, but they were. And that was in Sweden. But you can see this is how far are we from herd immunity in various areas around the world. New York City is the closest at 20%. And you can see Stockholm's at 7.3%, Boston at 9.9%. Long way out from herd immunity. So this is not the direction you want to go. You don't want to get everybody infected so that you have herd immunity. That's what we're trying to prevent, and trying to get a cure to this thing with the vaccine. These are the countries currently worst hit by COVID-19 deaths. Sweden, number one. They're the ones that didn't lock down their country. And they're having the biggest impact with numbers of deaths with that. And then Brazil, there's a definite problem in Brazil and definite problem in Peru. And part of that has impacted hospitals that they just don't have the kind of hospital system like we have in the United States. And then you have United Kingdom, United States, we're like 5th on that list. and that was countries with the highest rolling 7-day average for new COVID-19 per million people as of May 27th. And this is COVID-19 tests. You can see testing is something we want to watch. We hit 4.3% for a day, and then we hit a low over here, but this included antibody testings, then they fixed all that stuff in the numbers, and we've been testing quite a few. Matter of fact, yesterday we hit the most that we've ever tested at 450,000. They're saying that that's what we need to do is hit 500,000 per day so that we can get this average below 5%. And that's where we want to be. Yesterday's was at 5.1%, so we want to see it continue to trend below 5%. And the only way that we're going to hit that is by doing more testing. And California, you can see this number. This is a 7-day average. This is not even coming down. It's continuing to go up. And it's just there are hot spots across California in different areas within Southern California as well. There are 104,000 cases in California now. And the facts are, these are in Southern California, we have the 5 most impacted counties for all of California. Number 1 is LA, almost 50,000, and then Riverside County at 7,350, and 7,100 at San Diego, 5,900 in Orange County, and 4,900 in San Bernardino. And then, so now we're talking about unlocking the society, everything that we want to see. So we're starting to roll that out. We've been doing it quite a bit. We now have haircuts. We're going to be able to go to church services with proper protocols that are taken, with limitations to the number of people that can go into these establishments and churches and all that stuff. And at the end of the day, we need to play our cards right. We still need to be mindful that even though this whole thing started and it feels like we're used to this routine, that we need to get used to the routines, wearing masks and things like that, all the things that we can do to help abate this thing before until we have a vaccine down the road. And because at the end of the day, we're all fighting this invisible virus with all the people in the hospitals on the front line, and they can tell you all about this. I can tell you personally from a friend of mine that went through this, how devastating this is. It is nothing like the flu when it whacks you as hard as it did to the people that I know and care for. And the reason why I care about it so much is this resurgence, the second wave that they talk about. It's not a hypothetical, mythical thing. It's like every single scientist is talking about the second wave. So we just need to be prepared for it so that we don't do this. If we put our guard down completely and then don't care because it's summer and it pretty much goes away, then we're going to have a problem where we have to lock down again. And then if we have a W recovery where everything starts looking better and better, and then we have to go back into some sort of a lockdown, this is really it would cream the economy, and I don't want to get to that. So that's why we're very mindful of watching the numbers and statistics and data, and we will be bringing that to you so that we can understand where we are at in the whole scheme of things. And as far as the macroeconomic outlook is concerned, we have BC data, that is before the coronavirus. All this is thanks to Logan Mohtashami. I absolutely love listening to him, and you should too. And I have a slide with his name spelled so that you can follow him on Facebook. He's run out of friends, so you can't friend request him, but you can definitely follow him and his Facebook Lives. But there's, before the coronavirus, everything looked good. After the disease, everything looks bad. This week we got this other slide that I had to update. Now we have over 40 million unemployed. And remember, prior to this, we were averaging 212. Now we have over 40 million. That's a lot. Just understand that. That is a lot. So these are weekly initial unemployment claims. So we were keeping it at 212,000, and check it out now. So, forbearance, this is where properties that are in forbearance, and there are 8.36% across the United States that are currently in forbearance, and that number is kind of holding. It's getting really sticky, so there's not a lot of new people going into forbearance. And 11.6% of all FHA and VA are in forbearance. So those are just, we need to be mindful of these people, that these are the people that are going to have to do something and stick the payments. Hopefully they negotiate it so they stick it on the end. If they do, you're going to have to ask them, if you're sitting in front of them at a listing presentation, did you go into forbearance? If so, what did you do with it? If they worked out a payment period plan, great. If they put it on the back, they're going to have to owe that on the net sheet as well, besides the balance of the mortgage. AB data. So this is thanks to Logan Motoshami. He has definitely created this thing called America's Back. I just like his acronym, so we're going to go with them. We're going to roll with them and just credit Logan. This is how you spell Logan Motoshami. Follow him. And he's saying that for America to be back, this is an article that he had written, and he has these links to these articles on his personal page on Facebook. And number one is a flattened curve, and we're getting there. Number two is end of stay-at-home orders. We're starting to get to that, the end of the stay-at-home orders. We're making our way through it. 10-year yield goes above 1%, not even close, but that's something that needs to happen. As well as decline in credit stress. We actually, I don't have a slide for that, but we've seen that the credit stress has gotten a lot better. And the jobless claims, well, that one we haven't seen improve yet. So we're going to have to see that start to reverse itself because we put everybody on furlough. We're going to have to see these people come back online. And that should happen as we roll through June and especially and through July. Data from hardest hit sectors needs to trend up. Those are like travel, those are like traveling in planes, hotels, so there's going to be restaurants. Those are some really hard hit sectors that we're going to have to take a look at. And then here's some AB stuff that we're starting to see where it's starting to get a flavor of America's back, and most of the stuff is in housing. And one of these is the purchase. I already showed you what's happening in terms of demands, but this is mortgage purchase applications. This was down 33% way over here, and then it improved, and now it is up 9% year over year. That is, mortgage purchase applications are up year over year. That says a lot for the number of people that are out there actively looking, and I think these interest rates are stoking the fires. And then we have this: has the stock market moved on from the COVID-19? Because this is, look at this, this is NASDAQ. It's actually doing a lot better. We have S&P 500. It's getting there from its lows, and the Dow is getting there. So these 401ks that became 201ks are making their way from 301k back towards those 401k levels. So we're going to continue to watch that. This is the kind of thing that shows you that, hey, we're definitely improving here. So you go to reportsonhousing.com, you hit subscribe, and you get a month free if you sign up utilizing the coupon code of HOTTER, HOTTER. And you can get lots of sample reports, different sample for each of the counties. You can kind of get a flavor for what the way that I write. And oops, this is the wrong one. So I don't know why I did that. So I apologize for that. This just shows you I was definitely working really hard trying to get this thing ready to go. So at the end of the day, here we are with Antis. I want to thank you very much, Antis Real Estate Photography, for being our sponsor. You are an incredible company. I've been able to work with you. You know what? She really cares. The owner really cares about what's going on in photography, and not only just photography, but what's happening in real estate in general. She actually has been Facebook messaging me over the years, asking me for different data and stats and things like that. And I was thinking, this is amazing. She just wants to know exactly where we are so that she can go out there and share it among the people, even in between reports. So she is absolutely incredible. You can reach Antis Photography at 949-533-7369. That's 949-533-7369. Info at antisphotography.com. I appreciate your sponsorship. Thank you so much. And now we're going to get into Q&A. I do have time for Q&A, and this is the cocktail happy hour Q&A, but I do want to tell you I am on a very low battery. So let's go ahead and begin with cocktail Q&A. So, cocktail Q&A. This is sponsored by Antis, of course, so I should probably just throw up their slide for cocktail Q&A. And go ahead and ask some questions. Go ahead and throw up some questions for me, and I will answer as many as I possibly can before my battery dies. So, let's see. So I'm looking for questions. Anybody have a shout out to Aubrey Ansis and her crew? Yes, we should do a shout out to Aubrey Ansis and the crew. Can you give me a bottle opener? Can you go downstairs?
Yeah.
Please. My bartender, he's 9. Hi, Stephen. Define a balanced market, please. Balanced market is one that does not favor buyers or sellers. It's kind of where the push and pull feels the same. See, it's where buyers don't get to call the shots and neither do sellers. Neither one gets to call the shots. It's kind of where it's not leaning so much in favor of buyers that it's a buyer's market, but it's not leaning so far in favor of sellers that it's a seller's market. So it's that in between where there's this tug of war where you have to go back and forth and mutually negotiate upon something that's mutually beneficial to both parties. So, and what am I drinking? I am drinking a Negro Modelo. So I'm still curious the impact the election will have on the market the way the previous elections. Yes, I don't actually see a impact in the numbers. I've been following the macroeconomic numbers for years and have not seen an impact with the elections, other than the fact that it's maybe for a couple days we're watching it, but there's not really any kind of an impact that I can actually see defined in the numbers. So I don't see that as an issue. Thanks, Stephen. Great news. How do you see the jumbos affecting the million-plus market? Well, we've rolled back the dial on tightening of credit, and I'm drinking that Negro Modelo. Cheers, everybody. Boom, boom. So we're rolling back the dial. It's tight like 2013, 2014 as far as the mortgage market. That's why we don't have non-QM loans right now, and jumbo's harder to get. That's just, you have to have a borrower that is qualified and that has a decent down payment, but there are programs that still exist even for jumbo. I was told by many, many lenders, have them contact me. So there are many, many lenders out there that can do something in this kind of a market. Oh, that's quite delicious. So let's see, thank you, Stephen. Let's see, hi, we did that bounce. For a Q&A question, I'm still curious the impact of the election. We already said that. Let's see. Stephen, what are you drinking? Answered that. Lancer seems pretty pessimistic. He has seen your latest stuff. He has. I've been sending it to Jonathan Lancer. He's got, his thing is all about jobs. I agree. It is all about jobs. There will be some damage from this. I just think housing is one of the stronger sectors. It's not like it was last time where it was a negative sector. We were the sector that led it, so we were the sector that's probably suffered the most. So there will be unemployment out there, and there will be more homes that come online. There will be more distressed, not a wave, more of a ripple, and that will be a 2021 story. But there definitely will, it's not going to have the impact on housing unless COVID-19 plays out differently than the path that I believe that we're going to go. And what my belief is that we're going to be mindful of it, and that there will be flare-ups and different things. But we already know what we need to do in order to continue to operate out in society, and but still leave things open. So I see it as, but if it's too big of a flare-up because we're not mindful, then it could be a problem, and that's what I'm not betting on. So, and Lansner is great. That guy, Jonathan Lansner, has a lot of spreadsheets. So as pessimistic as you think he has a lot of spreadsheets that he goes by. So he's reading all of my stuff and looking at all my stuff. But like I said, his biggest thing is all about jobs. We have to see how many come back online on the other side of this. Hi, Stephen Thomas. Isn't the demand a direct result of inventory? Because low inventory, the demand seems higher. Yeah, you know what? Yes, absolutely. Today's demand is hotter because of inventory. But can you imagine if we all have, there's all these buyers, there's multiple offers right now. So we can have more inventory. We would place some of that inventory into escrow and we'd actually have higher numbers. Part of the reason we don't have higher numbers right now is, as far as demand is concerned, is because we haven't placed as many homes on the market. a lot of it, and I was seeing the feed that was going while I was doing my broadcast, and I saw somebody say there's just not a whole heck of a lot new that's coming on. That's part of the problem. So we have the appetite, we have the buyers, but we just don't have the inventory right now. Walter says, when does extreme? I don't know what that means, Walter. You can thanks, Stephen, for sharing this great information. Use your teeth on that bottle. Thanks, Jeff. Thank you, Stephen. Have a restful and blessed weekend. When will the feds meet again to make a rate change? Can they lower them any more? Yeah, I listened to something. The Fed has the same take that I do, and that is that I really don't see a benefit in negative interest rates. So they're not gonna. They're not most likely not going to go there, and so that's not what the tools are that they want to use. They want to use a lot of other tools. They haven't even really started lending yet, and that's something that they want to do. So there are some tools that they still have left that they haven't even initiated yet. And let's see, you're planning on an assignment. Are you and Lansner in a tiff? No, Lansner's a good guy. No trip to the dentist. Can I view the latest episode that I missed you have done live on Facebook? All of them are on my Facebook, so you can see any episodes that you missed. You mentioned that the economy will catch up to housing, which demand is rising, but is it possible housing will adjust to the economy? No. Yeah, you know what? I've heard that with the housing adjusts to the economy, but you have to understand these interest rates will remain at very, very low levels if the economy does not improve. So we'll have interest rates at 3%, and that is exactly a recipe for continuing to bring this demand, because this demand, there's still a lot of people are going, who is it that's purchasing? Well, it's all the people that are employed are purchasing, and there is a wave of people coming that are that subset between about 28 and 34 years old. There's a wave of those people that just recently got married. They're ready to purchase, and the numbers that are in that category are pretty giant. They're pretty large, and they rival baby boomer days. So there's a lot of people that are waiting to come online, and I see that as a benefit. Get the chips and salsa for the Negra. We're running out of battery space, so I'm going to go past, see if I can answer a few more questions. Let's see. What is Anta's phone number? Well, I have the Anta's phone number. 949-533-7369. info@antasphotography.com.
Did you want me to plug this in?
Can we do it at the same thing? Because it's plugged into there.
Yeah, your mic will just go down a little bit.
Oh, my mic will go down a little bit. My wife is telling me we're going to plug it in so that she's awesome. Thank you, my love. So now we can continue. Unless you can't hear me anymore. My wife will check. Is the biggest housing bubble in America trolling people with fake accounts saying the world bubble while they hold their one gold piece? Everybody follow Logan Bush on me. There are a lot of trolls that are out there that are thinking that America is going to go to hell in a handbasket, and there are with fake accounts. And there's a lot of gold bugs. You got to listen to Logan to get his sense of humor, but it's talking about the perma bears. Those are people that are always saying that the sky is falling, and they're always looking at that bear market. And also the what are they called? The gold bugs. Yes, those are also fun Logan terms that he uses, and he's very funny. I absolutely love it.
I don't know if you want to scoot closer so people are saying it's hard.
It's harder to hear me, so you want to see me really close. How about on my YouTube? My YouTube.
Oh.
This is really close. We're getting intimate now. Cheers, everybody. Yes, and for those looking for Anta's photography, there's her phone number. 949-533. All right.
Just explain to them that the batteries are
they heard. The batteries are running low, and for me to continue to do Q&A, that is why we are doing it this way. So I will just be louder. Oh, look at Aubrey. She already put her number on there. Oh, I love it, Aubrey. Hey, Cheryl Coleman, what is the best way to convince buyers to buy now? So many people feel prices are going to drop. send them my stuff, for gosh sakes, and show them what interest rates are at 5% versus where they are at 3%. What a difference. The monthly payment is absolutely staggering, so that is going to help continue to drive demand. It's going to help continue to stoke the fires of demand. There will be fallout, or people will be unemployed even after the economy comes back online. There will be bankruptcies. There will be negativity out in the economy. But one of the bright spots, the way that we're seeing things right now, is it's going to be real estate's going to be a bright spot. We need to quadruple our inventory for prices to come down, like people said. And one of the biggest things that's going on right now is that a lot of people have so much nested equity, and if they all choose not to move, we still have a supply and demand problem. And so you got to watch the supply besides the demand into the equation. Can demand fall more down the road with a lot of negative news? Well, sure, but we'll be watching what happens with the inventory side of things, because I really don't see the wave of homes coming on the market. All the people that waited to place their homes on the market is what a lot of people are saying, that they placed on hold and they stopped their dreams and whatever they're going to do. Things are going to change, where I don't know if they're going to come on, because now that we have this event that happened, they might not move. They might wait another year or 2 years. That all depends upon what happens at the kitchen table. So there'll be people will be discussing it and making some changes in their life, just because of everything that's happened. And there's going to be people who are going to be looking to move because they've lived in their house for so long they want a different one. So that'll be there too. We need to throw statistics and data at people so that they can make informed decisions. Did you say the 30-year interest rate would drop 2.5%? No. I said where the 10-year treasury is right now, we should have interest rates, that rival right around 2.5%. But we're not there yet. I don't even think we're going to get below 3%. But every time I say that, I jinx myself, and then we get below 3%. So we'll have to see. There was a point where I said, yeah, we're not going to see interest rates come back down below 3.5%. And then here we are. So I just didn't see this pandemic coming down the road. So you got to be careful what you say. So I'm not going to say absolutely they're not going to happen, but I think they're going to have a hard time pushing underneath of that 3% level. I think the economy might improve before then, and the 10-year goes up to the point where 3% makes sense. So greetings all. Mark, look at all these. Aubrey, that's good. Show this. Yeah, show them this president. I usually share Stephen's reports with them. Yes, those are all good. What did you think of the Fed chief's comments on 60 Minutes last week? I actually watched him on CNBC today, not on 60 Minutes. I'd rather see the interview. I didn't see it. I know that things can get edited out because I've been on TV before. I liked the flow of this one on CNBC, and he talked about negative interest rates, talked about quite a few different things. The Federal Reserve has been saying the same thing over and over again, and they're just really, really careful about throwing everything at it. They want to see that there are more stimulus packages is what they're referring to it as, but it's still that bridge. It's getting us from here to where we're fully opened up. There might have to do more packages. Congress is going to have to continue to go to work, and that's the kind of underlying message that he's talking about. But they are willing to do whatever it takes to, and they still have room on their balance sheet to continue to print money, is what they're saying. Homeowners have equity today. I feel this, along with updated forbearance rule limiting the waiting times, will keep a... Yes, Ryan, I agree with on a cap on foreclosures. But what is your expectation on where we will be landing as a percentage number of foreclosures? Here's my thoughts on what foreclosures are. We have not felt the impact of foreclosures probably since the last time was 2013. And gosh, that's brilliant. I should show where they were at 2013 because we don't remember what they looked like even in 2013. And they were a bigger portion of the number of properties. We could go the percentage of properties that were distressed. We could do 5 times as many distressed sales as we are doing right now because we're that low, and you're not going to even feel it. Like take for example Orange County. I think that they're right in the 50s, 60 homes on the market that are distressed, Can you imagine if they get to 300, people go, man, look at the giant increase, but you really wouldn't see that because that 300 would be sprinkled throughout the county, and that would be probably at a time where we had 7,000 homes on the market, and 300 out of 7,000, it's very hard to find a deal. So that's not a wave. When we were dealing with the impact of the Great Recession, it was there was a point where there was just a ton of distress. There was more short sales than there were equity sales. So that just shows you where we came from to where we are today. It's much different where we are today. So, and I should do that. I should show you where we were in 2013. I'll do that in a future one. Can you please confirm the average days on market 1.25 in Orange County? I thought you have 2 different days on market. Yeah, no. Ines, I had that in here as far as DOM was concerned. It's not DOM. I'm not a fan of days on market, and I'll tell you why. You can get a whole bunch of homes that come on the market all at once, which happens during the summertime. We get a lot more homes that are coming on the market, a lot more fresh inventory, but there are other natural things that happen. We start to see demand diminish, and that's because we have people that are graduating, and then we have people that are going on summer vacations, and yet we still see the inventory rising. So the average days on market remains the same or even drops a little bit. Whereas the expected market time, that is what I take into consideration the active inventory, the supply, and the last 30 days worth of pending sales. From that, I can kind of give you a flavor of where we are at, not days on market, but expected market time. Place your home on the market, when are you going to go into escrow? That number is a more realistic reflection of what's going on than an average days on market. That's why you don't see days on market on any of my material. I just don't talk about average days on market. I talk about the expected market time instead. And I was showing 3 different figures on these slides. And you can email me and I'll get it to you, but there is a difference between where we were at in the midst of this lockdown, how bad it got. There was where we were on May 5th, which really looks good, and there's where we are right now. We're not quite yet to the May 5th, but we're making our way towards that level. What do you think will be the hottest month this year, considering the possible second wave and election? I don't think the election is going to have an impact on housing. However, we don't know what that second wave is going to look like. If we properly mitigate things and everything, and be very, very mindful, then the second wave is not as big as the first initial wave. So there's enough fear out there where I think a lot of people are going to be very concerned about it. I know our family will be, and there's going to be a lot of families out there that will do the right thing. So we'll just have to stay tuned and watch out for that. It's very, very hard to put statistics and data to human sociology. So these are all just projections. I really can't project out. We just have to watch and be very mindful of what's going on with coronavirus and just continue to look at the numbers around the world as we go forward. And it's something that I will continue to watch and report on. So I don't think that you can't tell what the second wave is. I've already said the election won't have an impact on it. So those are my 2 cents on that, but we'll have to stay tuned and watch. Fed rate is at 0 or near 0. Can't get any lower. They don't want to go there, and because they haven't seen any positive impact from negative rates. So that is coming directly out of the Fed's mouth that I was listening to on CNBC. I'm sure he said it in 60 Minutes. He said it before, and he continues to beat that drum. And it's the same drum. That's how I feel. Can't hear, Ryan. Yes. Do we have any more? Let's see. Can barely hear. Can't hear you yet. Can hear, but not as well. Turn him up. Yeah, just turn up the volume. These are old. You're a cool dude, Steven. Well, that's nice. Let's see, any more questions that we have? Steven, thank you once again for clarifying to those that despite the numbers believe prices will drop. We know they will not. Numbers don't lie. Do you think sellers are holding off because they are afraid of coronavirus or because they don't think it's a good time to buy? I would have to see. I'm hoping CAR finds out more information on this by doing some of the surveys they do. I'm going to have to watch what surveys are and polling that's done out there. I can just imagine that a lot of people's plans have just been placed on hold as to what they don't know quite what to do. But gosh, if you want to move to another house, this is the time to do it. If you sell your home and everything's looking good and you can buy another home and you can get a really good interest rate, well then I would just meet with your mortgage person and make that happen. So I think there's going to be a lot more of that coming down the road. We'll just have to wait and see. And like I said, I think we're going to get more people coming on the market as soon as weather starts getting better. We don't have these dreary June gloom days that are supposed to be around for next week. How long do you think how low do you think interest rates will go? I think I've answered that. Probably 3%. Sorry, we still can't hear you, Stephen. Well, I know. Turn up that volume. I apologize. I can hear fine. Let's see if we have a question here. I'm looking. Bye and thank you, owner and too busy refining. Okay, I think that's it. I think I've went through all of these questions. Thank you very much. If you have more questions, I'll look at the feed and I'll be answering them. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. I only have one kid here. It's Mason. Want to come over here and say hi to the masses, Mason? People want to say hi to my kids. They are tired of looking at me. Thanks again to Ansys Photography for sponsoring us, and this is Mason. Everybody have a good weekend. We're going to have a good weekend taking care of dogs and all that good stuff, and I think we're going to have a little graduation party for Kyler tomorrow, so we're going to have fun. So everybody enjoy your weekend. Hopefully you can get some vitamin D and the stuff burns off a little bit, and we'll see you on the other side. You want to come over here? I've got another one. She just came in the room, so I'm going to let her get on here. This is, can you get up there? Watch the beard. This is Athena, also known as Sunny. So we just want to thank you for joining our family, and see you on the other side on Tuesday. Everybody have a fantastic weekend, and thank you. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.